On today's Primetime Local News, stolen donations, clothes ending up in garbage bins after bags of donations left outside the olive tree.
So it is something we have to deal with on a daily basis.
And Council puts staffing and fire prevention plans as top priority during their Fire Master Plan meeting.
We want to ensure the safety of our public. I think that's what the public wants. It is going to cost some money, and it's part of the service that we've grown to.
Plus, the Don Cherry saga continues. Locals put in their 2 cents on Beyond the Boards.
Hey, I'm Eric Bay, and today we are taking a look ahead at National Child's Day, and a ton of stuff is happening here in the border city to check out all throughout the week. So we're going to have a little bit more from here on what you can expect, and also the importance of this event throughout the show.
Prime time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Freight trains across the country are at a standstill after more than 3,000 CN rail workers walked off the job. This afternoon, mediators will be back at the bargaining table.
Hopefully, we'll get the word to pack up and go home and go back to work.
Conductors, yard workers, and train personnel are on strike after the union and company failed to reach a deal. Passenger rail services in Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver aren't affected. This comes just days after the company announced major job cuts. Now, members of the oil industry are among those warning a prolonged strike could seriously hurt their bottom lines. City Council received their administration's first draft to the Fire Master Plan, which was co-developed by Dillon Consulting. The report makes more than 35 recommendations to be implemented over time, with the most significant change being an additional firefighter. Josh Ryan has more from City Hall.
The standards for fire departments have changed in the past decade, and Lloydminster is changing with them. A likely adjustment coming in the near future is meeting the requirements of a 4-person crew.
Have that extrication for someone to run into a building that's on fire. You need a 4-man crew. We are currently at a 3-man crew when that first truck arrives. So someone could be in the house. It would then fall on the firefighters to make a decision to actually break the rules.
The Fire Master Plan outlines changes in training, performance benchmarks, strategies, and much more. However, the primary item is the addition of a 4th paid-on-call firefighter.
We want to ensure the safety of our public. I think that's what the public wants. It is going to cost some money, and it's part of the service that we've grown to.
This staffing increase is something that administration had considered in crafting the upcoming budget.
The first draft of the budget that we saw at GPC last week did include approximately $500,000 range for the increases related to what was recommended in the Fire Master Plan.
Another key goal of the Master Plan is to increase the quality of fire education throughout the community, which Mayor Albers says is critical.
Be it youth and children understanding how to escape out of a house, because you don't want anybody to be caught in a house in a fire. Seniors also fall into a high bracket because maybe mobility issues and things like that. If we can prevent a fire, the fire service won't be as busy fighting a fire. Trying to get in front again, being proactive rather than reactive.
And with all of the elements in the master plan, Council doesn't expect it to upend costs in 2020.
I think there will be enough in kind of resiliency reserve kind of area that will take care of that additional amount.
Josh Ryan, Primetime Local News.
Stolen donation bags. It's a problem the Olive Tree has had for some time now. Bags of donations being stolen straight out of their bins. And it seems it has been going on for more than 2 years. The stolen items are found scattered in this garbage bin, with some clothes items like the jeans on the ground and an open bag full of clothes inside the dumpster. And it's something that Jonna Thompson of the Olive Tree says happens way too often.
Honestly, it is kind of always something that comes up. It's just kind of the industry where we work in. We can't necessarily lock the bins up completely or anything like that. So it is something we have to deal with on a daily basis. We do try and check them daily and empty them daily, but there's no real other system that we can do to try and change that.
And even though they can't lock up the bins, the Olive Tree is taking measures to avoid running into this problem by asking those who are planning to donate to drop off their donations in person.
We always let people know if you are available to drop them off at the thrift store during open hours, that's the best option, just because then it comes directly to us and we don't have to worry about it getting stolen out of the bins. Kind of on the front of the building, we have our 2 big black doors that say donation on it. Just bang on those and we'll have staff that'll come out and help you unhaul it. We are open 9:30 to 5, so if you have the time, stop in and drop it off directly to us.
And while this continues to happen, the Olive Tree encourages residents to continue to donate, as it still goes to a great cause. If you see items being stolen from the bins, they ask you to contact the RCMP. And if you saw a giant crane on the streets lowering a large piece of building by a new Shell station, the massive structure is a brand new car wash being installed in the border city. The 500-ton crane could be seen on the corner of 44th Street and 59th Avenue. When dealing with a lift that heavy, workers say it's important to ensure they follow the engineering and do everything properly.
For us at this stage, the plan had changed a couple of times along the way. Once you receive new information, we readdressed the whole plan. So when it came time to actually install it, it went fairly smoothly.
This project has been in the works for more than 3 years, and for the guys at Park Pacific Projects, it feels good to finally place it down and start working on it.
They're chosen us as their pony to bring or to build whatever building they're bringing over the border, wherever it be in Canada.
And now that the car wash is on the ground, all construction is expected to be done within 2 weeks. And now to our Eric Bay, who was on location today.
Back here at the Service Sports Center, and today we are taking a look ahead to National Child's Day, and that is upcoming here later this week. And I'm joined now by Heather McKee. And so first off, can you tell us a little bit about National Child's Day and what it is?
Sure. National Child's Day is a celebration that's across the country that acknowledges the rights of children. The Lloydminster and Area Early Years Coalition has adopted a Children's Charter of Rights, which is our local commitment to these rights.
And now obviously you guys have a ton of stuff planned, including kicking off tomorrow. So can you tell us a little bit about what is ahead for the kids?
Sure. Tomorrow we're having our kickoff with Councillor Buckingham reading a children's story at the Lloydminster Public Library, starting at 10:30 with crafts to follow. And then on Saturday we're hosting our event here at the Service Sports Center from 10 to 2. And that is our way to promote our goal for Lloydminster and area to be the greatest place to raise a child.
And now obviously we mentioned with that, you have that charter for the children and, kicking off this stuff for the kids. So what's the importance especially of recognizing National Child's Day and having all this stuff here to make sure that it is a great place to raise a child here in Lloydminster?
One of the things we want parents to know here that the event is free and that we have tons of wonderful activities that are low cost, so that you could do at home anytime with your children.
All right, thank you for this, and we are going to have some more from back here at the Service Sports Center, continuing with National Child's Day. But before that, we're going to head back into the studio.
It's -2 here in Lloydminster with mostly cloudy skies, and there is a bit of a chance that we could see some snow here in the evening and overnight into tomorrow morning, as it is currently snowing in the Edmonton area. 7-kilometer-per-hour wind coming in from the north, which is making the temperature feel closer to -5 degrees. Across the region, -1 in Cold Lake, Athabasca, Jasper, 0 in Edmonton, Edson, Rocky Mountain House, and Red Deer, and +1 in Whitecourt. And on the Saskatchewan side, -6 in Meadow Lake and Melfort, -5 in Prince Albert, -3 in Saskatoon and out in North Battleford. And overnight, North Battleford, pretty clear skies overnight, sitting at -10 degrees, with the wind dropping from 15 kilometers per hour to 9 kilometers per hour coming in from the northwest, which will carry into tomorrow, coming in from the west-northwest, and their daytime high is -3 with a mix of sun and cloud. In Cold Lake overnight, a little bit more cloud coverage and their temperature will fall to -9 degrees, but that wind will drop to 7 kilometers per hour coming in from the north-northwest. And then tomorrow, it'll pick back up to 11 kilometers per hour coming in from the west with mostly cloudy skies and a daytime high of -2. Here in Lloydminster, it should be a fairly clear night, but there is that chance that we could see some snow, so that could change over the next couple of hours and into later this evening, with our temperature sitting at -8 overnight, and that wind will pick up tomorrow from 9 kilometers per hour to 11 kilometers per hour coming in from the west with a daytime high of -1 and a mix of sun and cloud. Now that snow, if it does snow tonight, it may carry over into tomorrow morning, but it should die off by the afternoon, where we'll be sitting at -1 as the daytime high and a low of -8. And then on Thursday, there's still a chance that it will be bright and sunny with a high of +2 and a low of -6. And then on Friday, a little bit more cloud coverage than on Thursday, but still nice and sunny with a high of +4 and a low of -4. That wraps up your 3-day forecast. We'll have your 7-day forecast later on in the show.
Welcome back. Western Canada is a leader in agriculture, and as demands take slight shifts, companies are ready to make changes too. Mandy Voke has that story.
Nearly 14 million metric tons of protein are produced in Western Canada every year. As purely plant-based diets become more common, the plant protein industry is growing with the demand. Protein Industries Canada has a goal for Canada to be a global leader in this industry. Protein Industries Canada detailed a recent supercluster investment at a conference in Saskatoon on Monday. A supercluster is a collaboration of companies, organizations, and academic institutes. The Innovation Supercluster Initiative invested $950 million in 5 different superclusters across the country, which includes Protein Industries.
Our supercluster has $153 million as an allocation that will be co-invested with private industry into technology and ecosystem projects.
Plant-based proteins include canola, wheat, and pulses, which are beans, peas, and lentils. Western Canada has been a major producer of pulses over the past 30 years. The $153 million will develop technologies and ensure the ecosystem is a priority.
We've traditionally been a great producer of commodities. This is a step toward adding extra value to them before they're exported and also before they're used domestically.
Many are switching to plant-based diets. Pulses are primary ingredients in Beyond Meat products.
There's more demand for increasing consumption of pulse products as a protein source. So that's one piece of what's driving the work behind what we're doing at Protein Industries Canada.
Protein Industries Canada has until March 2023 to invest the $153 million in different projects. Mandy Voke, Global News.
And now here are your agriculture prices for today.
We're a part of less than 5% of Canadian auto body shops and Lloydminster's only locations with certified collision care recognition at City Centre Auto Body.
The Don Cherry saga continues with Ron MacLean making a statement on Saturday's hockey night in Canada. Our Evan Kenny discusses the hot topics with some of the hockey players within the border city in this week's Beyond the Borders.
Players, media, and everyday people have chimed in on Don Cherry's comments last week. This Saturday, Ron MacLean stated, "Don taught me to stand, so I have to have the courage of my convictions." MacLean was trying to put out a fire his 34-year co-star, Grapes, made around Remembrance Day. Not long after Cherry's comments, CTV's The Social correspondent, Jess Allen, said,
And going to a couple different universities, there's a certain type of person in my mind, in my experience, who does. And they all tended to be white boys who weren't let's say, very nice. They were not generally thoughtful. They were often bullies. Their parents were able to afford to put them, spend $5,000 a year on minor hockey.
And while some agree with her, others don't.
Well, I mean, personally, I don't fit that stereotype, so where we live in today, it's like there's so much you can and can't say, and it's hard to know what you can and can't say because it feels like everybody's held to a different standard.
Harper also added he doesn't agree with Cherry, but Allen's comments were in the same realm. It's not just one player who disagrees with Allen.
She probably hasn't been allowed around a lot of hockey players because I'd say the guys in this room are not privileged. They're hard-working, hard-nosed guys, love coming to the rink every day, honest people, and if you ask a lot of people around the community, lots of hockey players are just really good, nice, down-to-earth people. So,
two former NHLers who played similar roles in their time chimed in on the situation, but took different stances. 9-year NHL veteran and two-time Stanley Cup champion Daniel Carcillo took to Twitter saying, Jess Allen is right about the type of men that are drawn to the sport, and that he became a bully. On the flip side, Paul Bissonnette said,
reach out to her and just say, but it's not all like that. There are a lot of good people involved, and I'll even extend an invite to a hockey game. I'll fly you out to Arizona. You can come watch a game. We can have an in-depth conversation about it. I'll even pay for dinner. Instead of attacking, let's show them what we're about.
Both Cherry and Allen apologized after for their comments, but the controversy continues. Evan Kenny, Primetime Local Sports.
Beyond the Boards is brought to you by City Center Auto Body. For over 35 years, City Center Auto Body has been your go-to auto body shop.
And now a look at your weather with our Abby St. John.
Thanks, Judy. Well, taking a look at our satellite radar, there's a lot of action going on around the Edmonton-Vegreville area. They are experiencing some snowfall, which could carry over into Lloydminster overnight and possibly into tomorrow morning. There's around a 60% chance of that happening, and if so, it should carry on into tomorrow morning, but hopefully it'll die off by the afternoon as it makes its way more into the Saskatchewan area down by North Battleford. There is just a tiny bit of snowfall or a chance of snowfall, so definitely be cautious about that. Your current temperature is still -2 here in Lloydminster, as well as in Macklin, -3 in North Battleford and in Maidstone, -5 in St. Walburg, -4 in Pearson, -6 in Meadow Lake, -7 in Green Lake, and -11 up in Isle Cross. And on the Alberta side, -1 pretty much in the region. Provost, Wainwright, Vermilion, Vegreville, St. Paul, Bonnyville, and Cold Lake all sitting at -1, -3 in Marwayne, -2 in Lac La Biche, and 0 out in Edmonton. And tomorrow, -1 is the daytime high here for Lloydminster, as well as in Bonnyville, St. Paul, Lac La Biche, and in Wainwright, 0 in Edmonton, Marwayne, Vermilion, and Provost, and 1 out in Vegreville, -2 in Cold Lake. And on the Saskatchewan side, 0 in Macklin, -3 in North Battleford, -1 in Maidstone, -4 in St. Walburg and Meadow Lake, -2 in Pearson, -6 in Green Lake, and -9 up in Isle Cross. Overnight across the region, most of the region is fairly clear, just a little bit of cloud coverage. Isle Cross, Pearson, Paradise Hill all have chances of snowfall overnight, and the temperatures are ranging between -15 and -5, with Isle Cross sitting at -15 overnight. And in areas like Provost and Wainwright, fairly clear night for them overnight, and then pretty cloudy in Meadow Lake, Bonnyville, Mirnam, and out in Unity. And your school day forecast for tomorrow, -6 by the time 8 a.m. rolls around, and it'll be fairly cloudy with that outside chance of snow falling. And then by the time recess rolls around, it'll be -4 degrees. And then at lunchtime, it'll be -2 with a little bit of sun peeking through the clouds, a little bit of mix of sunny and cloudy skies. And then by the time school is out, it would have warmed up to -1 with that mix of sun and cloud. And over your next 7 days, Tomorrow's low is -8. And then on Thursday, there's a chance that it'll be super sunny out with a high of +2 and a low of -6. And then on Friday, a little bit more cloud coverage, but still pretty sunny day with a high of +4 and a low of -4. And then on Saturday, a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 6 and a low of -1. And on Sunday, a little bit more cloudy, but still have that sun throughout the day with a high of +3 and a low of -1. And then to start your week off on Monday, a high of 0 and a low of -4 with a mix of sun and cloud. And then on Tuesday, there's a 65% chance of some snow with a high of -4 and a low of -6. That wraps up your 7-day forecast. We'll have more news in the question of the day coming up after the break.
Back here today at the Service Sports Center, and we are taking a look ahead to National Child's Day, and I'm joined now by Patrick Lancaster. So first off, can you tell us a little bit about the importance of this event here and recognizing National Child's Day?
Well, when we did the social needs assessment in Lloydminster in 2018, one of the things we heard from residents is that they were looking for affordable things that they can do with their families, more activities, and they were interested in activities, particularly preschool-aged children. So this event definitely helps to meet that need by providing a free opportunity for families to come together, bring their kids out, and really experience play and learn some new ways that they can play at home in an affordable way.
And now, obviously, you mentioned that the importance of this event just now, but why, I guess, is the city kind of involved in this and taking such an initiative to recognize this day?
Well, for many years, the City of Lloydminster has been a member of the Lloydminster and Area Early Years Coalition, along with other partner agencies, and we've supported this event for several years now, both by having staff come out and assist, just like our community partners do, as well as there's been grant funding that's come from the city to help cover some of the costs of the event.
And now, obviously, a ton of stuff happening here over the next few days. Can you talk a little bit about what parents and then obviously the kids can expect here?
So the activities at the event are really focused around play and play between parents and children and enhancing that relationship. So a lot of the activities are going to be stations, like there'll be a Play-Doh station where we've got homemade Play-Doh that's been put together. We have a box maze made completely from recycled cardboard boxes. We have a couple of craft stations where people will be able to make some crafts and some toys out of things that they'd find around their homes. Dress-up station, button-making station, lots of fun activities, particularly targeted towards children of preschool age, but older children are welcome as well with their parents.
Sounds like a great time for sure. Thank you for this, and we're going to have some more from back here again, continuing with National Child's Day. But before we get to that, we're going to head back into the studio.
Well, question of the day is love in the air. Well, we'll find out. The question is, if your parents hate the partner you love, would you ditch her or him or carry on with them despite the protest? I don't know. I think I'm in between there because sometimes parents can see things that you might not be able to. So I would take their advice, but maybe I would still stick with the person that I'm in love with, obviously. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would agree unless it's something super alarming. In cases of abuse and stuff like that, that is a big one to definitely listen to your parents on that. But most of the comments are they will stay with their loved one. One person said, I would stay with my loved partner. She's the one that makes me happy and I'll spend the rest of my life with. My parents wouldn't have to like her, just accept her.
Oh, beautiful, right?
So, yeah, and that's the way it goes. If it's something silly and small about their personality that they don't like,
that's a problem.
I mean, their parents should just accept the fact that their child is happy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like cases of abuse, like I mentioned, should be looked at.
Lots to learn from and lots to do in terms of falling in love with people when you're young, right?
Yes.
And thinking of young pets. I love this, right? We saw a lot of pets today. And thanks for sending some of your pets for us today for a chance to win a gift card from the Pet Pad. Here's some of the ones that you guys have sent. Cute ones.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
I am so pleased to be joined again by Darren Weeks from the Black Rifle Coffee Company. Darren, once again, you are in a much warmer climate than we have up here. Glad you're getting some time to enjoy some sun. Thanks again for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'm in a warmer climate. Actually, last week I was in Texas at the Black Rifle headquarters and their new coffee shop and met all the executives. So, yeah, it's nice to be some warmer weather on occasion.
Well, let's talk about heading into the holiday season with Black Rifle. Holiday season is a tough time for a lot of veterans and people who are serving in the military. A lot of times they have to spend time away from their family. You at the Black Rifle Coffee Company, both in the States and in Canada, support veterans and support active military. I know we've discussed it before, but just tell me a little bit about how that works with the company.
Well, I mean, that was really the foundation of Black Rifle from its very start, and same within Canada. I mean, when we started, Black Rifle out of the United States was very generous to donate thousands of dollars worth of coffee. And ever since day one, we've always believed that the more we give back, the better it's going to be for the brand. And we continue to grow and grow and grow. At the same time, we continue to give and give and give to not only the military, but also first responders and all kinds of different charities across Canada. So we're blessed to be able to give back. And I think that's always a good thing when you're a business, is to be able to make sure you have some money that goes back to the community for the root causes.
Wrapping up for the holiday season, is there anything special that you guys do, anything extra, or is it basically still business as usual?
Well, we don't, to be honest, we don't have a tremendous amount of sales. Like, we're not one of these companies that has a sale every week. So when we do have a sale, there's obviously some great deals, and we're just finalizing some of those touches right now. I've got actually a gentleman named Scott Bollinger. He's one of the executives with Black Rifle USA. He's flying up to Canada. We're meeting on Friday, and we're going to sort of finalize some of the different specials we're going to unveil for Christmas. And we're definitely going to make sure that we give significant discounts and savings and your typical bundles for Christmas, because we want to make sure that people can have some great Christmas presents to give. So we'll definitely have discounts for everybody available.
And what about still coming out and giving coffee to veterans? Do you guys, and people on bases, I know, I had spoke to one of your employees at one point, they were coming out to Wainwright and just dropping coffee there. You guys are still doing that as well?
You know, we do, and all you really have to do is email us and ask. I mean, whether it's golf tournaments or curling bonspiels, or, I mean, I can't even keep track of all the different things that we'll donate to. And, you know, we look at each one and we try to stick to first responders and military and whatnot, but we've donated to all kinds of different causes. Little Warriors is another brand that we're obviously very proud of to support. So, yeah, we do those types of things. Our company, our staff, the team is just amazing. We've traveled so much and done so many trade shows and given away so much coffee that that's just the way we believe that, you know, a good business should succeed, is the more you give, the more you receive.
And you also, in the past, have had employees that had either served in the military or first responders or that type of thing as well. Is that something you still, both in Canada and the U.S., both companies still kind of look towards if they can?
Yeah, always, if we can. And, you know, it's like a business. I mentioned this in the past, that you want to hire the best person, but obviously we look for people that have experience, that are first responders, that have worked for the military. And like any business, you've always got turnover, and you've got some people that are first responders or military experiences that work, and you've got some that don't. So we look at the best person that's qualified. And if I had to pick, obviously, two people that are equal, I'd always obviously lean towards somebody who's got experience and that just believes in our culture and is part of our community.
Now tell me about some of the products. I know that there's some bestsellers, people that tend to go back for. We've tried them here and we love the products that you have. Is there anything new coming out or anything you can share with us, any changes at this point, or do you have to wait till after your meeting?
Well, there is actually. When I was in San Antonio and I met some of the executives at a coffee shop, they opened up their first coffee shop in Boerne, Texas.
Oh, wow.
And I was there. And there's actually some big things happening in the United States, which they're going to obviously transfer up to Canada. There's some cold drinks that are going to be stocked at some of the convenience stores, thousands of convenience stores in the United States, that we're looking to bring up to Canada. Because everything in Canada has got to make sure that we do things legally and it conforms to all the standards in Canada. So there's brand new products that are on the horizon. And again, Scott's coming up to Edmonton this Friday to discuss a lot more of those details. But Stacey, I want to ask you, what's your favorite? Because I want to make sure that obviously we keep you well stocked as well before Christmas. So what's your favorite?
Well, we like the Canadian as, well, I won't finish the rest of the sentence, but gotcha. You know which one I'm speaking about. So
I do.
Yeah, that's a great brand, the CAF, exactly. So yeah, we want to thank you. And again, if people would like to go and order even, you know, bundles for Christmas and because these make really great Christmas gifts and you're donating to charity as well. What's What's the best way to do that, Darren?
Yeah, good. Appreciate you asking that. BlackRifleCoffee.ca, and we have freshly roasted coffee in Alberta, and the BlackRifleCoffee.ca is the best place to go to. And we will soon have our Christmas bundle package available for everybody to save a lot of money, and then be able to gift this to their favorite top 10 family members.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Darren. We always appreciate talking to you, and keep in touch. Let us know when those new products are out. We're always looking to let people know how they can enjoy coffee and support a good cause as well. So thanks again for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your time in a nice warmer climate there down in Mexico.
Okay, well, thank you. Back in Canada in a few days, and thank you, Stacey, for all your support. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
I'm Justin with Boom 101.9 and 93.7 Hot FM, and here's what's happening. The Jingle and Mingle downtown Wainwright is happening this Thursday, November 21st. They're doing the light up at 5, but before that, you can enjoy some food over at the Wainwright Public Library. That's going to be taking place from 4:30 till 6:30. Make sure you check it out. Lots of fun stuff planned. You don't want to miss out on it. And the Wainwright Rustlers and Wainwright on Wellness present Hat Trick for Mental Health. It's happening Saturday, November 30th at the PMM here in Wainwright. This event is open to kids 6 to 11, where they will get to play a mini sticks tournament with the Rustlers. They're also going to get to enjoy a pregame meal with them, talking about mental health and wellness. They're going to take a Rustlers dressing room tour and have the opportunity to skate with them during O Canada. Registration can be made at Armstrong's Clothing and Sports. A full schedule can be found on the Wainwright Rustlers Facebook page. And Savor invites you to a night of tantalizing taste buds. Guests will savor fine wines, scotch, beer, and liquor from Alberta-based merchants, expertly paired with the succulent culinary creations of culinary experts. Taking place from 6:30 till 11 at the Vermilion Regional Center. That's happening November 22nd. Tickets are available at www.thegoodlifeinstitute.ca or from the Vermilion Town Office. I'm Justin with Boom 101.9 and 93.7 Hot FM, and that's what's happening.
Today I'm joined here with Becca from the SPCA, and she's brought in another bundle of kittens to show off. They are a litter, excluding one kitten who wasn't feeling too well.
Yeah, she was a little under the weather, so we left her back at the shelter.
Probably a better idea.
Yeah.
So tell me just a little bit about this litter of kittens.
Yeah, so they came in just as I believe a stray litter kind of thing. They were kind of left on a farm. So the lady kind of held on to them for a little bit for us, and then she brought them in.
And so they aren't currently ready just yet.
Yeah.
How long roughly until they're available for adoption?
Yeah, so we're just getting their weights up. So even like this little guy here, he's on the skinny side. He's pretty big, but he just needs to put a couple more pounds on. But yeah, these guys all should be pretty much ready to go. So it's just a matter of fitting them in at the vet clinics and getting them ready for adoption.
And with the one kitten who isn't here today, what sort of things should people know about her? As you said, she wasn't feeling too great.
Yeah, I think, some of it might just have to do with her being a bit of the runt of the litter. So she's a little bit smaller, even from this guy here. But it's just, we have kind of during this time of year when it starts to get cold and everything, upper respiratory starts kind of going through the shelter. So hopefully when she's out of the shelter, it's not going to be much of an issue kind of thing. It's just that initial, it's going around to everybody, so they're going to catch it.
And you did mention earlier that you have a litter of puppies as well. What can you say about them?
Yeah, so we have the 4 that are up for viewing right now, and a lot of them have holds on them already from people coming in to see them. From what we have heard, their mother was a German Shepherd cross kind of thing. But yeah, just those 4 adorable little cuties, they're up for viewing up on the main floor, so anyone can come in and meet them. And if they wish to add their name to the list as well too, they can. They just had some runny stools, so we were waiting for it to all get some more solid forms, so we can get them in and get them spay-neutered.
And how are you doing number-wise so far?
We're getting up there in numbers again, especially on dogs. We did have another litter come in yesterday that isn't currently up for viewing yet, but there's about 5 of them, and then there's 2 more that are about 4 or 5 months old. So there's those two, and then a couple more adults. So, so we are a little bit full on dogs, but but dogs and puppies especially, they typically go pretty quick. And then cats, we're kind of still. It's just a steady climb.
And speaking of climb,
Yeah.
and so you have the glitter night tonight at the mall.
Yes.
Tell me just a little bit about what
Yeah.
people should expect.
Yeah, so just from what we've heard, it's good deals and things like that. It's an exclusive shopping trip to anybody that's bought in the tickets. And yeah, so it's a nice fun night, I think, for, you know, just to try and get some of that Christmas shopping done and hopefully find some good deals while you're at it.
And any other news relating to the SPCA? You mentioned something about volunteering.
Yeah, we have our volunteer orientation coming up this Thursday, so that's from 6 to 7 as well. We have a few more slots left, and so if you want to fill out an application for that and start volunteering, that will be our last one of this year, and then because December is quite busy for us. But yeah, so if you want to get in and have some and volunteer with us, that Thursday is the night to come.
And for those who do decide to fill out applications and stuff, what will they be expected to be doing when they volunteer with the SPCA?
A lot of this, a lot of cuddling kind of thing, taking the dogs out for a walk. And you know, if you know, like we are starting to look at maybe volunteers if they want to come in and start helping with cleaning and things like that in case anybody is going on vacation or calls in sick, anything like that, we're starting to look at that as well. So if that's something that you're interested in too, we can make that work out as well.
And any future events coming up in relation to sale, like putting them on sale, like your clear out event or anything like that?
As of right now, we haven't planned anything, but I mean, always towards Christmas time is a different story. So we'll see within the next few weeks and what our numbers are looking like. So yeah, we haven't thought of it yet, but probably closer to Christmas time.
And when is your most busiest time, especially in the winter, for getting in those strays or lost pets?
It tends to be right when it starts getting cold, you know, like that's when, you know, everybody seems to notice them a little bit more because they're trying to find, you know, warmer shelter. So they are coming up to see everybody at their houses and things like that. So that's when we tend to see a spike in our cat numbers, especially too. Dog numbers, I mean, just for the most part, again, if we get a dog in, the owner comes and gets them pretty quick. Cats isn't like that, unfortunately, but hopefully in the future. But yeah, so it tends to be right when it gets like really cold. So it hasn't been too bad lately, and I think that's why we haven't seen the spike. But I anticipate once it starts getting closer to the 20s that we'll see a bit of a jump.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming in and bringing in these adorable little kittens that will be on up for adoption very, very shortly.
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank you.